A young girl. She's 15 years old, 2 years younger than me. Her mother glances at her and almost speaks with her eyes, telling the child that she cannot escape the dark gates encompassing her whole being that is soon to be her new life. With an inexorable aura radiating from him, her father has already set the price. The dowry has been paid, and his daughter was the trade. And just like that, the girl's own future, just beyond a completed education, was taken away from her at the tender age of 15. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the reality of my grandmother, and her mother before that. But why was this a normalized tradition? Why is child marriage still normalized in most, if not some, parts of the world today? But most importantly, why does gender equality play a major role in the development of our future? Child marriage is as immoral as it is harrowing, and the majority of the time, irreversible for the victim once they've been met. A girl should not be preparing to become a wife to a stranger. A girl should not have her basic right of a full education taken away from her because her parents think it'll be a waste of money if she's going to get married anyways. A girl should not have to grow up fast to be able to somehow withstand the emotionally and mentally draining experiences girls should not endure. According to the World Health Organization, roughly 23 million girls under the age of 19 give birth each year. A child bearing a child should not still be possible in 2019. Yet these are issues we are currently faced with in our world. Not the world, but our world. Unfortunately, this is just the tip of the iceberg, because women are still to this day treated inferiorly to men in other aspects. In terms of employment, according to an Oxfam report, 75% of the world's illiterate are adult women, with almost 2/3 of all children denied school education being girls. Compared to their male counterparts, women only make up 21% of the world's parliamentary seats. The gender pay gap is also a huge issue we need to resolve. For example, back in early January of 2018, the actress Michelle Williams was only paid less than $1,000 compared to Mark Wahlberg, who was paid $1.5 million. This is not a one-off story. This is a recurring reality for many women worldwide. Following a 2010 census, roughly 50% of the world's population consists of women, yet we still lack in full education, a seat in parliament, and equal pay. What example are we setting for our daughters and nieces in developing countries, where they will most likely be trained to become a housewife than when their education is ended prematurely? These girls could be anything they want to be. They could achieve anything. They could achieve things that could, in fact, help make our world thrive even more, become a better place. Not only are we robbing them of their future, but we are robbing ourselves of evolving innovation. But ladies and gentlemen, is it merely women who suffer from gender inequality? Mental health awareness in men remains an almost unmasked subject. There's not enough conversation about how the traditional upbringing of boys and girls into men and women have an effect on their mental health. Traditionally, we teach our sons to be tough and brave, our girls to be almost like damsels in distress or prepared for a married life. When in hard truth, we are teaching our sons to be emotionally unstable, not sure how to express their feelings because if they're caught crying, they'll only be seen as weak or that something is weird or odd about him. We are teaching our girls that we are supposed to be weak and quiet. And if seen as strong and independent, we're suddenly viewed as too much to handle, as if we are meant to be controlled. We should not tell our boys to toughen up and our girls to keep quiet. We must beat these social stigmas. To all the boys and men in the audience, it is okay to be sad. Don't feel ashamed and don't fight your emotions to put on a brave face because it will only hurt you more in the long run. And to all the girls and women here, don't ever subject yourself to keeping quiet. Your mind is the pearl in the oyster just waiting to be cracked open. As Immanuel Kant, a German philosopher, once said, "Live your life as though your every act were to become a universal law." We must act now. We must lower these statistics to myths, not facts. They are too big and unjust in the 21st century, where we are becoming more developed than ever due to the advancements of technology. We don't need this period of history to be the time where gender inequality was still alive. But unfortunately, it is, and it is a deep shame. It's a shame that those with voices don't speak for those who can't. It's a shame that we don't introduce enough ethics into schools for children to grow up knowing what's morally right or wrong. It's a shame that not enough people are putting themselves out there for the fight for gender equality. The time to change is now. Let us reshape the traditions that have followed us since before the 20th century. We must all come together globally to demand our voices to be heard, because we are our only hope of revival of equality. I shall end with a Kenyan proverb that states, "One head cannot hold all wisdom." So let us join our heads and put our thoughts together. Let us unite, side by side, for our future. Thank you.